Well, I've got the beginnings of a panel here. I've got two good edges, top and the side there. It's not quite the right shape yet. A little bit of wobble in it still, and the gaps aren't perfect. I need to do the bottom edges now. Trim them and roll them round and form the lip that's missing from the old panel. I've drilled one hole in it there so that I can see the distance to the panel behind, because I'll be plug welding it across there to replace the spot welds, and across the top edge this will just have to be a butt weld. I don't really know how to weld this to that because there's not much left of it. There does seem to be a lip on this side as if it was spot welded across there on top of those spot welds, but then on the other side it's little stitch welds, MIG welds, and what's missing could be either. I don't really know. I've got nothing to go off, so I might have to use a bit of artistic license there. See, there's no lip there that I can tell, but there is there, so perhaps it stops somewhere around there. But that's completely different to the other side, so I might just have to make that up. But it'll be a weld either way, so it's not going to matter structurally, just visually. So I'm having a bit of a dilemma. I've got this panel somewhere near, and this piece here, I couldn't get it so that I was happy with it, and I ended up putting this line in here that I had no evidence for, but there was nothing left of the panel there, so it seemed to make it work. But I just couldn't get this right, and I was almost ready to start welding it, but then I went back and looked at the pieces I took off, and I spotted that crease there, that angle, just that slightly longer wire, which is this panel, which means the whole thing is meant to kick up and forward there, which would eliminate that line. So now I've got the dilemma: do I remake these two, well, modify that panel and rehammer that one? And given I've been trying to do everything as close to factory as possible, I think that's probably going to happen. I'm not even sure that this panel came all the way over and down there. At least, I don't think it was welded on across the bottom, because the only bit of evidence I have is that little spot weld there. And around here, it definitely folds over, because this piece folds over all the way to the bottom side there. So I know this should come round, at least round there, because I had evidence to show that that panel didn't fold over there, whereas the rest of it does, like that. And I also need to cut that piece out for the bracket that bolts on there. So perhaps it just has a short fold over lip there, and the weld is on the front here. All of it's gone, so I don't really know, but that's as much as what I can deduce from what I've got left. I could probably go and have a look at the clean one and figure it out from that, but I think what needs to happen is this needs to come out that way, here. That needs to flatten, obviously that needs to come out. This piece I can do easily, I can redo that. This piece, however, that is going to end up really short when I pull that out. Because this is the right height, I know that. And there was nothing left of it on this side either. That panel's just completely rotted away there. So all I had to go off was the two ends, and they're all in line, but what I didn't know was the line goes forwards in the middle and then back down. So what I need to do, I think, is to flatten this piece out. I should be able to get in with a hammer and dolly, and probably add a little piece on the end for it to weld to. I could probably do that while it's folded out and then trim it to suit. That's probably the best plan. I can do it, it's just a bit of a setback, but you've just got to take these things really. Maybe I should have checked it more, but I spent an entire day trying to figure out what the panels look like. So it's not like I glossed over it. I did try, but you've got to be a bit flexible in what you do when you're welding. I planned on trimming this lip off some anyway. It was intentionally long. And I could even put some little tack welds across the edge just to make it that little bit stronger that it might not have had from factory. Because if I can make it better than new, I will. But bringing this out, I should clean this panel up lovely. I should get rid of the roughness there. I could beat most of that out anyway, but it just didn't seem to want to form into the right shape, and that was one of the giveaways why I went checking to see if I had it right in the first place. Well, that's definitely better. It's got the right shape to it now, and the panel formed the way it should after shrinking and stretching under here. Meets the lower panel pretty well. The top edge has gone out of whack. Somehow it's gone from there to there, so I might need to redo those lines a little bit and trim the top edge, but that's pretty easy. I still need to trim these edges anyway. I left them intentionally long to do them last because they need to be the butt weld. You know, the trickiest one is to get right and keep right. I'm pretty happy with that now. It should look apart once I'm done with it. It's pretty well. Come around here. Trim the top, pretty much done. I might even leave that, it's not that far out. Once I hammer that down, it'll look right. And once that's on, you think about doing some other bits. That goes on after that. Angle there now meets that. This bit. Now makes that perfect. And that, the triangular brace also makes that. Pretty much. If it wasn't still covered in rust. Seems slightly proud. It's starting to come together, I think. God, this is a big job.